Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are unpacking a genuinely fascinating and, well, honestly kind of unsettling piece of research today about a major technological shift that's happening literally right under our noses. When most of us think about artificial intelligence, we picture these loud, flashy disruptions, right? We imagine humanoid robots taking over, self-driving cars everywhere, or just these massive glowing data centers. But the real story? It's actually much, much quieter than that. What we're really dealing with is a silent architecture of influence, and it's reshaping our entire world without making a single sound. Okay, let's dive right into this. Our whole explainer today is built on a deeply compelling source that's aptly titled The Scariest AI Prediction Nobody is Talking About. I mean, that title alone just totally grabs you, doesn't it? It strongly suggests that while everyone is busy looking one way, the actual true magnitude of the AI revolution is happening in a completely different direction. This source material is basically grabbing us by the shoulders and urging us to look past the obvious stuff, to uncover a much lesser known and deeply unsettling possibility about our immediate future with advanced AI. Section 1. The fears we talk about. Look, before we can even begin to understand the hidden threats, we really have to acknowledge the loud, super visible anxieties that are currently dominating our cultural conversation. It's the stuff we see in the headlines every single day. Widespread job displacement. It is absolutely the mainstream anxiety right now. And hey, it is entirely valid. We're all asking the same questions. Will an AI language model replace human writers? Are algorithms going to write better code than seasoned software engineers? Will automation just completely wipe out entire manufacturing industries? These are massive, incredibly important questions. And if you've been stressing about this, let me tell you, you are not alone, and you're certainly not wrong for being concerned. The source material acknowledges this right off the bat. Job loss is a highly visible disruption. But as we're going to see, it's really just the tip of the iceberg. Which brings us to Section 2, the silent AI architecture. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly where things take a turn. This is where we pivot away from what we can easily see and dive into the unseen dangers lurking just beneath the surface. We're talking about the things that don't necessarily take your job, but might actually take something much more fundamental. Think about the visible threat on one hand, job loss, economic shifts. We can measure all of that, right? We can track unemployment rates, we can point to a physical factory closing its doors. But then, look at the invisible threat, our actual decision-making. This is where it gets incredibly eerie. Advanced AI systems aren't just floating out there in the broader economy. They are intimately, deeply woven into the very fabric of our daily lives. They are subtly but profoundly reshaping human decision-making, our privacy, and our overall control. So what does this actually mean? How do we define this invisible threat? Well, think of it as a silent architecture. These are the totally unseen systems by which advanced AI shapes human privacy, controls our information, and guides our choices. And it does it entirely without detection. It's an architecture because it is highly structural. It's built deep into the foundations of the platforms we use every day, the social feeds we endlessly scroll, the videos we stream, and the searches we type in. And it's silent because you literally never hear it working. It just hums along in the background, subtly fencing in your digital life, carefully curating your reality, and fundamentally altering the control you have over your own information. Section 3. Reshaping how we choose. All right, let's get super specific about the mechanics here. How does a massive, invisible algorithmic architecture actually target an individual in their day-to-day life? Well, this is where it gets incredibly personal. According to the source, AI subtly targets you, yes, you, in 3 cascading ways. First, it targets what you see. Just imagine opening up your favorite news app or a social media platform. In that split second, the AI is actively filtering out 99% of the world just to show you a highly specific, curated 1%. Second, by controlling exactly what you see over weeks and months, it subtly normalizes certain perspectives, and that gradually shifts what you think. It actively shapes your perceptions and your baseline understanding of what reality even is. And third, ultimately, it reshapes what you choose. Whether you are buying a random product, forming a deep political opinion, or just deciding how to spend your next hour, your personal autonomy is being nudged and directed by a system that's working quietly right behind your screen. Let's break down exactly how these elements combine into a highly effective step-by-step process of manipulation. Step 1. Limiting your control over information. The AI is the gatekeeper. It decides what news, what products, and what opinions actually make it into your feed, effectively narrowing your entire worldview. Step 2, infiltrating human privacy. Now, this is the absolutely crucial link. To know exactly what to show you to trigger a specific reaction, the system needs massive, and I mean massive amounts of your personal data. It maps out your psychological triggers, it figures out what time of day you're the most impulsive, and frankly, it understands your habits way better than you do. Step 3, reshaping the final decision. Because the AI completely controls the menu of options you see and possesses a deeply accurate psychological profile on you, it can reliably predict and guide your ultimate choice. And the craziest part? It does all of this while making you feel like you arrived at that decision entirely on your own.
Section 4, Staying Awake and Prepared.
Now, I know all of this might sound a bit like a dystopian sci-fi thriller, but the goal of our source material here isn't just to leave us sitting around in despair. Not at all. It's actually a call to action. It's about reclaiming our digital autonomy. So the absolute crucial takeaway is this mandate right here. We must stay aware and prepared as AI continues to evolve. Think about it. You cannot fight an enemy you literally do not see. By dragging this silent architecture out into the light, by simply recognizing that our information, our privacy, and our daily choices are constantly being influenced, we are taking the very first critical step toward protecting ourselves. At the end of the day, awareness is our ultimate defense mechanism. Which leaves us with this final, incredibly vital question to ponder today. If an unseen AI system is constantly shaping the information you see, the opinions you naturally form, and the very options presented to you, whose choices are you really making? Are they actually yours? Or are they the algorithms? Seriously, I want you to keep that question in mind the next time you scroll, search, or click. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay curious, stay aware out there, and I will see you next time.